It's time for another episode of the Franchise Business Radio Show, broadcasting live from the Pro Business Channel studios in Atlanta. Sponsored by Franchise Intellect, a full-service franchise consulting and development firm. More info at franchiseintellect.com. Also made possible in part by Social Joey, the social media experts that provide a hyper-local presence for your franchise. More info at socialjoey.com. And now, here's your host, Pam Curry.
Welcome to the Franchise Business Radio Show. This is your host, Pamela Curry. And once again, we've got a studio of some wonderful franchise professionals. And it's a simple reminder to our listeners, Franchise Business Radio is a platform for bringing together franchise professionals and resources to connect, educate, and collaborate to serve the franchise community and consumer. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi. This is going to be a great show because not only do we have guests in the studio, but we actually have guests calling into the studio. So what I'd like to do is let's just go around and have introductions. Kimberly, who are you and what brings you here?
I am Kimberly Alexander. I'm with High Achievers, and I am here to talk about our High Achievers franchises that we have.
Welcome. Looking forward to learning more about that. Kind of after my own heart, by the way, development. And I'm sorry, Susie and Beth. Susie?
I'm Susie McDaniel. I'm one of the executive directors of LearningRx in Atlanta and Alpharetta Johns Creek, and we are a brain training center.
I just like how that
cool.
sounds.
And I'm Beth Ardell. I'm the other executive director and owner of LearningRx in both Atlanta Buckhead and Alpharetta Johns Creek.
Wonderful. And what's kind of neat is we've got obviously franchisees in the studio and calling in as a representative from the franchisor. Tanya, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tanya Mitchell, and I head franchise development for LearningRx.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and kick off with LearningRx, if we could. And by the way, I do want to let our listeners know that we are going to have another calling guest. We'll call it the surprise guest. That's happening a little bit later in the show. Tanya, I'd like to kind of start off with you being virtual. Obviously, you've spent the last 20 years educating and training thousands of professionals on how to improve learning and processing through personal one-on-one brain training. It's my understanding that you head up sales development for LearningRx.
Yes.
Great. Could you just tell us a couple little things about your background?
So my father's the founder of LearningRx, Dr. Ken Gibson, and I was the first non-doctor to run a brain training center in Gulf Breeze, Florida, about 20 years ago. And it was very successful, and we realized that to really bring brain training to the country and to help as many people as we could, that franchising would be the best format for us.
That makes sense. Well, and here we have two examples sitting in the studio right now. Susie, could I go ahead and kick off with you? How long have you been a franchisee? Give us a little bit of background on yourself.
Well, my background started in physical therapy. Beth and I actually have known each other for many years. We met in physical therapy school at Emory University, and we both worked at the Atlanta VA hospital for over 10 years together. We each got married, had kids of our own, and our kids started struggling in various ways in school. And so we decided to make a transition to LearningRx because when we looked into the background of the company, we thought this is exactly what we're looking for to help our kids.
Wow. And Beth, how long ago was that you became a franchisee?
That was 10 years ago.
Wow. And I mean, not to take you back in time, capsule of time, would you recall what number you were in the franchise system? Were you part of the first generation of franchisees?
I feel like we were part of the first generation. Tanya could probably better answer that. But yeah. So it was exciting. We knew when we saw it that this was, like Susie said, exactly what we needed for our children. It was very different than anything else that's out there. We had started reading about neuroplasticity and people wonder why we would make that transition from a physical therapist to doing this. And I said, it's like doing physical therapy on your brain. So it's not as different as it seems.
No, that makes sense to me. Tanya, I kind of want to, we're going to be taking two different perspectives here, right? We want to get sort of the knowledge of you on the franchisor level, and we also want to tap into the knowledge of our franchisees that we have in the studio. Why do franchisees even choose LearningRx? I mean, Susie and Beth kind of alluded to that. Why LearningRx over other educational concepts?
Yeah, so I'd agree with what they said. We actually just finished our franchise business review survey, and there were some highlights in it, where we outshine the industry. And the number one piece was what we do, our programs and the services that we offer, and the great impact that we have on our customer. And so people usually choose LearningRx because of our products. You can sell anything. Why not sell something that, impacts lives greatly? So
rewarding.
That's why people choose us. It's the product.
Yep, very rewarding. So if I were a prospective franchisee, I'm sure it's very different from when Susie and Beth went through it 10 years ago as it is today. But what were some questions that you think any prospective franchisee should be asking who has a desire to become a franchisee and get involved in the process?
Is this for me or for Beth and Susie?
I'm going to put that to you, Tanya.
Okay. So I think, everyone likes the idea of making a difference and having their own business. But I think the daily tasks of what make businesses successful, including a LearningRx franchise, is a good question to ask. Most service businesses require lots of networking, lots of marketing, and really good sales skills. And so we can train people how to do those things, but if you're not someone that enjoys those tasks, then you're investing in something that's going to probably take a lot more energy from you than another type of employment or job.
Makes sense. Beth, Susie, anything you would add for someone that's considering becoming a LearningRx franchisee?
I mean, for us, I would also add that just having the passion for the program helps you with sales. So I didn't have a sales background or any sort of a business background, and I agree with Tanya, you need those skills or it's a lot more effort for you. But the passion for what you're doing really comes across to the clients that you're getting, and so that's very helpful.
Yeah, and if you have the passion but maybe not the sales background like the two of us didn't have, Tanya's right. The home office does a great job of helping you develop those skills.
Well, you know what? You're bringing up a really good point. Very often when I'm working with candidates who are considering franchise ownership, I always say a very important question to get answered, since we're talking about questions, is customer acquisition. Because it doesn't matter if you are offering a product or a service, you still need to acquire customers. So excellent. I don't know if I'm going way back in your memory bank here or not, but if you could change anything about your first year as a LearningRx franchisee, anything come to mind?
Well, we were thinking about this, and since we have two franchises through LearningRx, we opened them both in two totally different ways. So the first one, we started small and grew, and it was Susie and I and 4 trainers when we started. Okay. The second one, 5 years later, we started much bigger. And really, if we had to choose between the two, we would go back to the first way and start small and grow it as we went along.
Okay, more of a natural evolution, organic.
Yes, yes,
so to speak. So thinking about how does the franchisee network help you grow your local business? I mean, you could do this. People might say, well, why don't I do this independently? Why would I want to become a franchisee and pay that franchise fee? And those are common questions that come to mind for anyone that's considering becoming a franchisee. In your opinions, why would you want to do it through a franchise network?
Well, first of all, the product is amazing, and you're not going to be able to come up with your own product in the way that LearningRx has developed it to this point, not without a lot of hard work and a lot of time. So, I would say that what we love about the franchisee network is that, like we've been saying, pretty much everyone involved is very passionate about what they do. And so there's a lot of sharing of ideas and cross referrals and helping each other out, even from different states. And through doing that, I think it makes us all more successful.
Absolutely. And that's a value across the board, right? There's some universal values, I would say, that go along with franchising, and being part of that peer exchange,
right,
is huge. I totally get it. I don't really classify you as new business owners. I mean, you've been doing this for 10 years, so you've exceeded, what a lot of people never achieve. But if you were to give advice, like what major concerns of new franchisees, what advice would you give that might be natural concerns for a new franchisee? And Tanya, I'll open this up to you as well.
Yes.
If you probably work with a lot of new franchisees, more so than Beth and Susie, what major concerns do you see? And how would you address those?
So I think just like Beth and Susie, a lot of the people that we get as candidates, we're looking for the type of help that we offer. So we work with people that need help with memory and attention and, struggle with learning, maybe brain injury. So it's sort of this new niche, very unique business. So we get a lot of family members that really want to help, someone in their family while opening a business. So they do not have business skills, which is one of the great things about franchising. Is I was just thinking about this because my husband just retired from the Navy, and he's starting a new business. And there's all these aspects of business that you need to learn, and you can either learn that through an internship or apprenticeship or years and years of experience, where with a franchise, you get trained right away. You give all your secrets, all your business operations to the new franchisee. So coming in, usually their questions are around, I've never marketed before. Will you help me with marketing? I don't know how to network. I think I'll be good at it, but I don't know how to do that.
Sure.
I don't understand QuickBooks or bookkeeping. So it usually has to do with business operations because the majority of people are family members and have not been in this industry or have not run a business before.
Well said, right? And that's what you're licensing ultimately, those proven methods of operation, receiving that recipe book. Obviously, if it's a good franchisor, there are some out there that aren't holding up to those values. Which Tanya, talk a little bit about that. So, training, right? What is your training program like for your franchisees?
Well, so we're personal brain trainers, and that's one of our mottos, right? So, the idea of training for us is extremely important. And when someone starts with us, we have an online university of I think over maybe 200 hours worth of training. We do job shadowing. We do corporate training here at the home office in Colorado. And then we do 2 on-sites with people right away. Then once they're done with that, then they have they're assigned a sales coach and a marketing coach for their first year. So they get weekly calls on the different segments of their operations. Until we feel like their conversion rates are high or if we can tweak things for them. So lots and lots of training with us and training until they're at the levels that they want to be at.
So, anything to add around that, Susie?
Well, we really like as franchisees that there's a help desk that you can call 24/7 pretty much and ask any kind of question. And it doesn't matter if you've been in the system for 10 years or you're new to the system. So, that just gives us a lot of support and
Absolutely.
a lot of confidence that there's always someone we can ask a question about, and we still do.
And as a business owner, you wear so many different hats, right? So it's nice to be able to have that, like you're saying, support to be able to turn to and peers. I'd like to go ahead and I want to just wrap it up a little bit with a question around the products. I'm going to put on my consumer hat, all right? Can I kick it off with you, Susie? Tell us a little bit about the products in the LearningRx program.
Well, as we've been mentioning, it's a brain training program, and essentially what we do is we typically start with a test to look at how you're processing new information. So not what you know, but things like long and short-term memory, problem solving, visual processing speed, which is how quickly you can understand something new as it's coming to you. And once we see where someone's strengths and weaknesses are, then we can talk to them about what type of brain training program would be best for them. But everyone who trains with us initially gets work on those core skills, because a majority of the time there is a weakness or two or three or four. And then if we have a client that's also struggling with reading, we can add a reading component onto it, or a math component, or a comprehension component. We also have a study RX component that we can add when necessary.
And is it safe for me to assume, based upon what you're sharing with me, this isn't just for children?
Right. So we work with students of all ages, starting around age 5, maybe 4.5. And our oldest client we've had so far is 78. And this really is a life-changing product. So, I mean, with our own families, Susie has a son who is struggling with attention issues. I have twin boys who are struggling with a reading disorder, and a daughter who had a seizure disorder, which damaged her cognitive skills. So this has been absolutely life-changing for our own families. And then it's just so great to see these results within the community of all people of all ages and all abilities. So it can be for enhancement as well. We have a lot of college students who we train. Once they go to college, maybe they didn't struggle in high school, but they got there, and their strengths couldn't compensate for their weaknesses as well anymore.
Sure.
We have some medical school students, and then we have adults and older adults, and with all the research coming out on dementia now, this is we have an ongoing study about the great effects we're having with clients with mild cognitive impairment. And so it just gives me so much hope and excitement about all the people that we can help.
Absolutely. What a great testimony. I mean, both of you.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nobody that can't benefit from brain training.
It sounds like. Tanya, we're going to have to go to our next. Anything you would like to add before I ask for everyone's contact information? Because I want those that are seeking out this service and need of it to know how to reach you. But anything else you would like to add?
Well, I just want to thank Susie and Beth for being franchisees with us. They're some of my favorite people in the world. And one of the great things about franchising is that you do form this new business family where you get to be with people, at least annually, and you talk to them all the time. And it's just neat to change the world through franchising. So that's what I would add. And if you wanted to learn about LearningRx, we have a website, learningrx-franchise.com, and we do have great territories all over. We're celebrating our 15th year in franchising, and we're ready to grow.
That is awesome. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks, Tanya.
Thank you.
15 years. And really quick, Tanya, please give that site again, the website.
It's learningrx-franchise.com.
Wonderful. And Susie and Beth, I would also like to find out, you have 2 locations here in Atlanta. How does someone get in touch with you?
Well, you can go to our website. It's learningrx.com/Atlanta-Buckhead.
Excellent.
Or learningrx.com/Alpharetta-Johns Creek. And then our phone number is 404-252-7246.
What's that phone number again?
It's actually 404-25-BRAIN.
I love it. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure learning about LearningRx. And just as a reminder, LearningRx specializes in one-on-one brain training franchise centers, and it is a licensed opportunity. Currently, they have more than 80 learning centers, over 300 licensed locations around the world, but plenty of room for growth as well. So if you're interested in learning more about this opportunity, please don't hesitate to go to learningrx-franchise.com. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Excellent. Excellent. Well, let's go ahead. Tanya, thank you so much for being on the show virtually. I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and we'll let you sign out and start your day. But please continue to listen to the show at www.probusinesschannel.com.
Okay, thank you. You guys stay safe over there in the Southeast.
Will do.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Florence is not invited here, that's for sure. I know that we are going to have another guest that's going to be dialing in here, and that's going to be our surprise guest. But I want to go ahead and speak with another great guest that we have in the studio. Kimberly, welcome.
Hi.
Kimberly Alexander, she's with High Achievers, and just want to give our listeners a little bit of a backdrop on you. You've been an entrepreneur and small business owner for 24 years.
Yes.
Do you really want to date yourself that way?
I do, because everyone looks at me and is like, no, you don't look old enough. I'm like, tell me that again. Tell me that again, please.
You obviously have deep experience. You've owned and operated several businesses over the years, and really have appreciate and love the economic and social impact that a small business can have on a community.
Yes.
In the last 7 years, it's my understanding that you were the owner of a regional company that had companies across multiple states.
My husband and myself, yes.
In 2016, you decided to sell that business and put your full effort into High Achievers.
Yes.
May I ask you this? Can you give me a brief description of High Achievers? What is it that you offer and do? And let's go ahead and we'll dive in.
Absolutely. Actually, High Achievers has been around since 1998. Mm-hmm. Started off as a seminar business, and then just the evolution. We have everything on our website. You're welcome to go look at our story on highachievers.com. In 2016, my husband decided to take in a different direction because that was our passion as far as helping small business owners. So we have franchises available, and we do operate some, in-office trainings and things like that, kind of like a test pilot of a franchise. And we're helping small business owners. That's our focus. You have coaching companies that want to focus on the $5 million and above clients. Well, we want to focus on the customers or the business owners, small business owners that have under $1 million in sales, less than 10 employees, because they do have the passion and the heart to do that, but they may not have the experience to make sure they know how to build a team to market themselves.
Mm-hmm. And let me speak on behalf of small business owners. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, because there's a lot of things I wish we would have known going into everything we've done over the last 20-something years together, my husband and myself. So, yes.
Yeah. And you kind of hit on something there. There are a lot of businesses, coaching, consultants, business trainers that are out there. What makes High Achievers different?
We have essential business training. I know we haven't talked about that much yet, but what we offer through our franchises and, like I said, into our test pilot that we're doing in our offices, we have 24 essential training modules, whether it's sales processing, how to build a team, vision, mission, core values, financial mastery. We are also using a lot of ABLE learning. It's ABEL. Action-based experiential learning. So we're not like letting you sit there and we're just going to tell you everything. No, we're going to have you up on your feet. We may have you do team building, may have you build something. So that way you have a process that's kind of helps the experiential learning aspect of it, so we're not just like dictating.
Yes.
So they're getting all that information, not just like just writing it down. So we're really helping them on all those different aspects of their lives. As far as building a new business.
And you know what? I mean, you really hit on something because I have a background in training as well. Like you said, it's one thing to dictate, but it's another thing to make it experiential, right? We're all nodding our heads in the studio. I know this is radio, but we're all nodding our heads going, that's so important. An application, right? Making it relevant.
It kind of makes it their idea, too, so it's kind of organic happening. It's not like, okay, let me just tell you, or you've got all the answers inside you. Go.
Mm-hmm. So when I took a look and I scrolled through the coaching staff, I noticed that each of you had a why, W-H-Y, why listed. What is that about?
Our whys are, well, I'll say it like this. The whys are what makes you tick. What is it you're going to be able to make the most impact in the world? My why is, and I know this is crazy, but it's from a movie from our oldest child he used to watch when he was younger. He's 23 now. My herd. HERD. So whether it's my two-legged humans in my house, my children and my husband, or it's the four-legged girls that I have, the dogs. Everything I do, whether it's the volunteering or it's helping small business owners, anything I'm able to give back to anyone, it's for my herd. That's my why.
So that's your why, and I get that. It's what brings out your passion, right? Your motivation. So when looking through your website, something else that I noticed, and you actually just brought it up, and that was it's an acronym.
Yes.
ABLE Learning, ABLE. Tell us again, what does that mean and what is that about?
It's action-based, actually ABEL.
Oh,
and I may
you.
have been a typo. Well, it may have autocorrected. Love that.
Yes.
Action-based experiential learning. And like I said, it's when we have our trainings or our workshops, we're going to have people up and moving and doing things and not, kind of not totally getting them out of the comfort zone, but we want them to actually remember that rather than just writing it down. We want the action-based fun.
That's right, ABEL.
Yes.
Understand. And again, kind of poking around. Tell us just a little bit about, like you said, you are the franchisor, right?
Yes.
So you are the franchisor. And what is it that you provide to your members? And help me out a little bit there.
Yes. Well, like I said, we do have the kind of like our pilot franchisee running in our office, but then we also offer to our franchise. We want to make it a lifestyle brand. Okay. So they can run everything from their mobile device, whether it be a laptop, an iPad, or a cell phone. We want to make it where they can work 4 days a week and still make the money they want to make and spend the time with their family. We want to offer world-class to those folks. We have essential business training, which I touched on with the 24 different modules. We also have a mastermind or a peer advisory catalyst groups where we have folks, if you think back, centuries ago when Edison and Ford got together and they're like, okay, how can we fix this? What can we do to get this problem solved? That's what our peer-to-peer and our mastermind groups are doing. We have the small business owners coming together. Okay, this is the issue I'm having. Let's all help me fix it.
Exactly.
So that's what our franchisees are offering to those folks of anywhere from 5 to 15 small business owners that they have in the room. And then we also have Nexpert, and I did say that correctly. It's NEXPERT, Nexpert Business Coaching. And it's kind of unique. The typical business coach is like, you have all the answers inside you, kind of like I mentioned before. Or a business consultant where, okay, I'm going to tell you what you need to do so you get it done.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to make sure we kind of collaborate. It's going to be kind of a business like a coach consultant kind of thing. I know my husband came up with that kind of funny word, but I cannot repeat it. I mean, it's not bad, but I just don't remember how he said it. He meshed the words. He meshed the words together. So when someone comes on board as an expert coaching client, they're going to come on board and they're like, okay, I need help with a business plan. They're going to go to our business plan coach. And then they're like, okay, they're going through the process and everything through that. And then they're like, oh, I'm ready to do marketing. They're going to go to our next expert, which is our marketing coach, and they're going to go through their marketing plan. And just down the line, we have a plethora of different coaches that have expertise. They specialize. So you're going to go to the next expert.
And you have something else, I believe you offer. It was Achievement Global Summit?
Oh, we have a Lifestyle Achievement Global Summit. It's okay. It's a mouth word. A mouthful.
Yeah.
I always do LAGS. And everybody's like, what? Logos? No. We have a Lifestyle of Achievement Global Summit coming up the 15th through the 19th of October. But it's open to the public the last 2 days. And what we're doing actually with our franchises across the globe, they will have a spring event. So they'll be having a local impact and working with their community and things like that. And then in the fall, we'll all get together. We'll have all of our franchisees, our coaches, our members, our team get together. We're going to do something to kind of help each other, but also kind of give back. Like this year on this actually open to the public, we do have several tickets available.
Oh,
just
wonderful.
A few. And the pricing decrease or increase goes up after tomorrow. We're going to the King Center on the 18th. So we're kind of going to, that's kind of part of our mission, which is a social impact, being able to see what Dr. Martin Luther King, I know we all grew up knowing what he's done, but it's really cool to be able to go through and walk through all that information there. Then we'll return to the hotel there. We're having it at the Omni at the Battery. Go through a take flight learning, which is kind of like a personality style. So we're going to work with folks and how they can really deepen their relationship with their key customers or clients. And then on Friday, this is the part of the summit, we have 6 speakers that are going to speak to faith, and then family and friends, fitness, finance, fun, and field. And the reason why we want people to do that is because, we all have all those aspects in our life.
Sure, absolutely.
And if something's going on with your family, or you're not fit and your health is a drag and you're having to worry all those things, then your field's not going to be so good. Your business is going to kind of be lacking. So that's why we think of these 6 F's. And no, I promise you, I'm not saying a bad word. They're all good words. They're all good words.
You should throw in a 7th for a franchise, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe we need to. I need to talk to David about that. But the reality is, if you get all those areas, those 6 areas, you can't have balance, because nothing's going to ever be balanced in every single aspect of that. But if you have harmony with that, then you're going to be extremely successful in your business career.
I like
and all
that.
those aspects of the 6 F's.
I like that. And what made me come to mind right away is you're right. We're all working so hard to have balance. And is that really realistic in all those areas?
I don't think so.
But to receive harmony, that sends a completely different message.
Yes.
Excellent. So I saw one page on the site and a video about something called the No Coach Principle.
Oh, it's hilarious. You have to go see it. It was actually something we were doing several different video shoots, and then all of a sudden we asked my husband a question, David, and he's like, "Oh, it's a no coach," and we're like, "What?" And we're all like getting our cameras up and our phones and everything to recording him. And, I've kind of alluded to it already. The no coach was like, if you get a coach, the typical coach is like, you have all the answers inside you. Go ahead and figure it out. Can you tell me? Let's work through that. So you're paying a lot of money for someone to tell you that you have all the answers. But then, like I said, the consultant is they're just going to get it done, knock it out. And you're like, okay, what did they do? How did we get here? How do we fix that? But the no coaches, we're going to come alongside those small business owners and really hold their hand, get action plans, get processes in place, hold them accountable, and be along that journey with them to help them be truly successful.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. So again, if someone wanted to, I just want to make sure that all our listeners are clear, really, because there's 2 paths here, in my opinion. Either one, you're already a small business owner and might be seeking out your services.
Yes.
And that's how you'll become a member. And a little refresher, how would they learn about this summit? It might be a great way to contact you.
You can either go to highachievers.com and go ahead and click on the button about Lifestyle of Achievement Global Summit.
Okay.
And they're able to go there. They can find out all the information to register online. They can also, if they would like to stay at the Omni, and I will tell you it is a better price than what they're getting right now because of how well the Braves are doing. So with that being said, we have folks that are spending the night, Thursday night, so they can be there first thing in the morning to go ahead and get started, not to deal with traffic. So highachievers.com, and then click on that button for the Lifestyle of Achievement Global Summit.
And if I wanted to learn what it would mean to actually become a franchisee,
we have a franchise button on there as well.
Okay.
Or they can go to highachieversfranchise.com.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Any other information on how to reach out to you? The website's the best way
to
go?
The website's the best way, or you're welcome to give us a call at 678-888-0202.
And what's that number?
678-888-0202.
Excellent. Wow. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. And we're super excited. I can't wait. That is the week of my birthday. So I told David, what a way to spend my birthday week.
I don't know about that.
Well, yes, it's going to be a lot of people there that get to celebrate with me. Not that I'm expecting gifts, but just to be able to be around folks.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I'm totally teasing. Thank you so much,
so welcome.
Kimberly. Great to have you on the show. And are we, Rich, are we ready for our surprise guest? Yeah, excellent. Well, we do have a calling guest, and actually he is, I think it's safe for me to, Dick, I don't want to age you or anything, but you and I have been around. You and I have been around in the franchise world for quite some time. And I just
yes, we have.
definitely want to welcome you to the Franchise Business Radio Show. Very excited to have you as a virtual guest. We have calling in, we have Dick Humphrey. He is with WaterStation Technology. WaterStation Technology designs and manufactures self-serve water vending machines that are both planet-friendly and human-healthy. And I want to talk about that because this is a hot topic and much needed. Dick, before we do that, would you mind just giving a little bit of a backdrop on yourself for our listeners?
Okay, I've got about 12 years' experience in the area of franchising. Prior to that, I was a managing partner with a executive search firm getting involved with healthcare for sales and marketing for diagnostic medical imaging equipment. But I've really enjoyed getting into the area of working in the franchise world And also, franchising also have businesses opportunities. In fact, the company I'm representing right now, WaterStation Technology, is a business. It's which means there's no upfront franchise fees that's required. There's no monthly fees over a X number of years that you have their licensing agreement with. So it brings some economical benefits as well.
Absolutely. And for our listeners, we kind of, as franchise consultants, which Dick and I have been in the franchise space for quite some time, you kind of put things in two buckets, franchise opportunity or what we call a non-franchise business opportunity. Would that be fair to say, Dick?
Yes, it is. Correct.
Excellent. Well, kind of talk to us more about WaterStation. Obviously, this epidemic of tap water contamination, being in our drinking water, help.
It's a very serious concern, and there are links you can go to. In fact, you can go to ewg.org. It'll give you an interactive map of the United States. You can click on Georgia, click on Atlanta, or any other city that you may be in the surrounding areas of Atlanta. Even put your zip code in. It'll actually tell you what water contaminants are coming out of your faucet that you should not be drinking. So more and more people are hearing more about it. In fact, there's 250 million Americans in all 50 states right now that are experiencing this problem. Now, here's the issue. Well, people say, well, gosh, I better drink these plastic water bottles. It's going to be a lot safer. Well, 40% of the water in those water bottles are actually coming out of a faucet. Yeah. So that's not helping you. And there's another issue is some of the water that you're drinking, it's reverse osmosis, which is important to have. There's some good and bad parts of reverse osmosis. One of the bad is that it's taking out both the good and the bad minerals. And by taking out the good minerals, it's now lowering the pH level in our bodies down to a lower level that we don't want. It gets us down into the 7 range. And in fact, when we go in for an annual physical, most of the time they're going to be looking at our blood pressure and our temperature, but they'll also look at our lipids. They want to see what your pH level is. And if you're dropping down to a 7, that means you've got some symptoms going on in your body. You have a lot of acid buildup in your body. And with this particular filtration system that WaterStation Technology has, it's a patent pending right now. There's 7 major steps they go through, and one of them, they put 20 natural minerals back into the water itself. And by doing that now, it takes the blood and makes it like micro bubbles, and it flows through the body a lot easier and faster, and the body becomes more alkalinity-based, and there's no more acid buildup. So it flushes out the unwanted chemicals we don't want. So that's one of the real benefits as far as the alkaline water portion of it. It allows you to feel considerably better, and there's some other major advantages with it. But the other issue to look at when people are drinking plastic water bottles is the epidemic that's occurring. In the last 2 years, 50 billion plastic water bottles came into the United States, and only 23% are actually recycled.
Wow.
And it takes 1,000 years for those bottles to disintegrate. It's a very serious issue. There's many colleges, many cities now are banning plastic water bottles. The other issue is because the cost for recycling, there's small communities can't even afford it anymore. And now with the Chinese coming up, starting next year, that we're not going to be able to have any waste delivered to them anymore, this is a significant problem for the U.S. right now.
Okay.
Now, the benefit of this particular model and business that we have, it's a bottleless type, so there's no need for any plastic water bottles. So we really save the environment. It's truly an eco-friendly type of a business.
So I was just going to say, obviously, I mean, you stated it all. I mean, we are moving in the wrong direction in regards to healthy water. What's the solution? How does WaterStation help solve that problem?
Well, it filters out the unwanted contaminants. Number one. Number two, it eliminates the pollution of water bottles, and it becomes very eco-friendly. Excellent. And that eliminates the cost for some of the recycling costs where a lot of communities can't afford it anymore. Those are the 3 main benefits that it can address.
So it sounds like a no-brainer, and for someone who maybe has a passion for this or is looking for a non-franchise business opportunity, talk to me a little bit about who does your business concept appeal to?
Well, we primarily work with those investors who are looking to diversify their portfolio. This is a 100% total turnkey type of investment. So there's no need for the investor to go out and find locations to service the equipment and things like change filters. None of that occurs. What happens is there is a management group that the investor partners with as a joint venture partnership. And the partnership is the investor, the funds that they're providing are used then to buy the equipment. And then they have a management team in place that will do all the searching of the locations and to prepare the sites, have the units installed, calibrated, and then operate them on a day-to-day basis and handle all the maintenance that's required. The benefit for the investor is that they don't have to do any of that activity, and they receive a check in the middle of the month with a profit and loss statement that also identifies with a QuickBooks type compatibility for the CPAs to use for the tax purposes.
Mm-hmm. And unlike a lot of what I call classic or traditional franchise models, where you as a business owner are, let's say, more hands-on, or we like to refer to them as the active owner-operator, some permit semi-absentee, would you classify WaterStation as a passive ownership?
Yes, very much so. Yeah. I call it's passive or turnkey. Some people call it turnkey.
Okay, beautiful.
But it is definitely a passive type ownership.
Which is to me makes WaterStation a very unique opportunity outside of your traditional classic franchise businesses, because it is a true investor's model. If someone wanted to learn more about this opportunity, how would they get in touch with you, Dick?
Well, they can call me. I have a toll-free number. It's 877-941-0002, and that's in Central Time. And also you can go on the website. It's WaterStationTechnology.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate you calling in. It would have been nice to have you face-to-face, but I'll take virtual when I can get it.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot, Dick. Appreciate you dialing in. We are going to go ahead and we're kind of coming down to the bottom of the hour here for Franchise Business Radio. Again, this is your host, Pamela Curry, founder of Franchise Intellect and host of Franchise Business Radio. As I mentioned earlier, the mission of Franchise Business Radio is to do exactly this. It's a platform to bring together franchise professionals and resources to connect, to educate, and to collaborate to serve the franchise community and consumer. And I just want to thank all my guests for being on the show today. And if we could quickly just go around, if anyone has, if you could just, again, give us your contact information for our listeners and how to reach out to you, no matter what their objective is, to actually be a customer or if they want to look into the franchise opportunity. Beth.
Thank you for having us. And again, I'm Beth Ardell, and this is Susie McDaniel, and you can reach either one of us at LearningRx.com, and we are at the Atlanta Buckhead location or Alpharetta Johns Creek.
Excellent. Thank you. Kimberly.
Yes, Kimberly Alexander with High Achievers at highachievers.com or 678-888-0202. Thank you so much. I'm excited about being here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Pleasure to have you. Wonderful. Well, thanks again to everybody for being on the show, and that brings it to a wrap.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you again for joining Pam Curry and her guests on the Franchise Business Radio Show, sponsored by Franchise Intellect, a full-service franchise consulting and development firm. More info at franchiseintellect.com. Also made possible in part by Social Joey, the social media experts that provide a hyperlocal presence for your franchise. More info at socialjoey.com. Use the social media links here to share today's show and check out more episodes at franchisebusinessradio.com.